Hello everyone and welcome to this special broadcast where I'm coming to you from Sri Ram College of Commerce, one of the most prominent and distinguished colleges in the country. And what makes this special is also that I really wanted to come here, but I was never given a chance. So you can imagine how distinguished these students are and fortunate at the same time. But among the showcase universities or colleges is this place. But the question that I ask on the show tonight, in this battle for Delhi, is Delhi really the showcase national capital that India deserves to have? We have distinguished citizens of Delhi and students of Sri Ram College of Commerce. Let me introduce you to them. We have Kishwar Desai, author and chairperson of Partition Museum. Yashwardhan Azad is a former IPS officer. Bhavreen is an environmentalist. Kashif is a YouTuber who goes with the name Dear Sir. We have Shaumya Misra, who is a startup owner. You would have seen her often on my shows. Founder of Avatar Skincare Technologies. We also have RJ Guinea, Radio City 91.1. So the question that remains on everyone's minds, 2 weeks to go for Delhi to poll. 1.55 crore registered voters of Delhi will cast their votes. But at stake in this battle for Delhi is the interest of the entire nation. Kishwar Desai, that's my question to you. As a citizen of Delhi, what are the issues that will decide your vote?
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting us on this show at a very crucial moment. And I do want to say that this is a time for all of us to sit back and create, or sit up and create our citizens' charter. So I thought about it and I said that, I have a charter which comprises, it could comprise of all the letters of the alphabet, but I'll just give you A, B, C, D, E, up to E. Okay, so because I deal in arts, my A stands for always arts and culture. And I think the party that can come up with a good plan, and they very rarely do, to preserve the art and historical places and heritage of Delhi will definitely get my vote. I think, so we come to B. So what is B for? B for me is public transport, i.e. buses, because we do have a very excellent metro system, but many of us, as we grow older, and I live a part of my time in London, I find I use a lot of buses there, and we need them. We really do, to also curb the pollution, which is so terrible. C is for cohesiveness. We need political party that brings in social cohesion, which does not get people to vote along caste, creed, and other kinds of issues. So I think that is very important. And then we come to D. D is for dumps, garbage dumps. I find it astonishing that the best of colonies, the best of places in Delhi will have these enormous overflowing garbage dumps everywhere. And E is, of course, the environment, this wonderful, deadly air which we are breathing. Thanks to you, we're sitting outdoors and we're sort of inhaling large quantities of carbon dioxide, smoking 40 cigarettes a day, and during the duration of this show. So I think we need to do something about it.
Okay, Ms. Desai, I think the AQI today is much better, and that is the reason we chose to do this show outdoors. But Bhavreen, the big concern for Delhiites is, of course, Delhi turning into a gas chamber every winter. But there's no solution in sight. One may say, is there lack of political will? And there appears to be a lot of bickering between states and center, state and union territory of Delhi. There's multiplicity of agencies. Where is, how do we fix Delhi's air?
Yes, absolutely. We've been talking about this for years, and as you know, and now thank you for bringing this up. It's heartening to see that, yes, citizens are asking now. They're asking for clean air. They're asking for clean water. A lot of people are moving from that earlier, ask of roti, kapda or makan to now saaf hawa and saaf pani. This has become a necessity. After all, how will our children, the youth, the future of the city survive? Even as of now, the PM 2.5 today is over 170, which is, of course, very poor. And this is not only winter. Again, the statement that we all have to change, it's throughout the year. The toxicity, that cocktail of poison, PM 2.5 that we are breathing, and PM 10, which is, like I was explaining to the kids, PM 10 is the dhool and PM 2.5 is the dhua. So both of them we are actually inhaling throughout the year. So this has to be a priority. You are absolutely correct. There is no political intent, because that is the reason you see this has hardly made any room in any conversation from any political candidate today, or in the manifestos. Even if the general elections, they made it to the manifestos, but they were not talking about it. They are wooing citizens and women only with freebies and other things, not realizing that the water and air is something that no one can, clean air and water, you cannot exist without, and that should be the priority. So the political will, and then, citizens like ourselves, ordinary citizens who are working, throughout the year on these issues of garbage, waste management, or urban mobility, etc., public transport, industrial emissions, etc., we are pushing so much material there to show that the systemic changes is lacking. Like I was discussing with the students, that most of our departments, whether it's the Delhi Pollution Control Board or the CPCB or the Forest Department or the MCD or even the police, the Delhi Fire, everyone is understaffed. How difficult is that to actually bring? Who will go on the ground and control these violations? Who will actually take care of these complaints? Unless there are no people or humans on the ground, you can't. The apps cannot do that.
Okay, Yashvardhan Azad, perhaps you can answer that question about policing in the national capital.
Can I start with other things too?
Yes, please. As a citizen, yes.
Yeah, as a citizen, I'm pretty disappointed with the kind of campaign which is going on. What do we expect from a MLA or an MP? He's a lawmaker. He's supposed to discuss the budget. He's supposed to be the link between the government and the people. So what are the contentious issues which should be raised in the elections which are not being raised right now? For example, you talked about pollution. What are the efforts that have been taken to control pollution? There is a whole list. There's a bucket list of about 15 things which can be done. But none of them are being done because of lack of cooperation between the various governments. So what new ingenious ideas will an MLA have to bring this about? He would certainly get my vote. That is number one. Number two, whenever you have a government of this kind in a capital, there is a huge problem, because if it's an elected government, it should have the police rightly under him. That is Kejriwal or whoever the CM is. In fact, the Supreme Court mandated this, and yet there was an ordinance to negate that. If he doesn't have the bureaucracy, if the CM doesn't have the police, what are the instruments he's going to work with? Of course, there are challenges on so many other fronts. Now, if you look at the tenor of the campaigning and the tenor of the governments is based on freebies. You know what slum dweller was saying the other day when somebody went and said, "Aap kisko vote doge?" The lady said, "Dekhiye, hame free pani mil gaya, free electricity mil gaya, free sari, free paise bhi mil gaye, ab hame pakka makan chahiye." Now the question is, if you're devoting this much of budget to that, where will you have anything to improve Delhi? Today, Delhi is decaying in terms of infrastructure. And if somebody gives a way out to this, then I can understand. You have bustling markets, but you don't have people to walk. So everything is for the shopkeepers. Their car parking, the vendors for the take over the pedestrians. Who's going to give this governance and management? That is a critical issue.
So in this decaying Delhi, Kashif, do you think any of the parties are talking about issues of people? Here is a citizens' charter that we are discussing. But do you see any kind of hope among the political class, or is it the regular tutu meme which is happening, regular use of AI, regular poster war? When it comes to issues of people, is there any party which is actually doing it?
First of all, I would like to thank NDTV for giving us platform to raise the voice of Delhi and what Delhiites think. I think as far as Delhi is concerned, the biggest problem is pollution. As we all know, we have talked about a lot that pollution is not controlling. We are not breathing clean air, and that is the basic right, I think, for living. But the second thing we have not been discussing much is education. The current government and ruling government claims that they have built some schools, they have done a lot of work on education. But I think schools do not mean mere bricks and concrete. You need to have a robust infrastructure, robust system to educate your students. But unfortunately, I think they have not been doing much about it. Because we have been just talking about pollution because this has become very serious problem right now. That's why people not talking about what is the state of education and schools in Delhi. Teachers are overburdened. They have been doing clerical works. They are not putting their time and efforts on students. And that is also a very important aspect to be thought. And we are not talking about it. So being a representative of, and I would say on the behalf of all the students community, I would like to raise this point as well, that there is a lot of work that need to be done on the part of schools and education as well.
So when politicians say that they are inaugurating new colleges, isn't that better infrastructure, according to you?
As I said earlier, that mere bricks and concrete and just a building cannot be called a great college or a school or an education system. You need to have a very running and effective and robust system to be placed. That's why I think there is something which need to be done.
Okay. So in education sector, we know what is missing. What about the startup sector?
A lot. So ease of doing business in Delhi is not as good as what we see. So running a venture which is spread across 18 cities, we are able to see the differences, be it permissions, licenses, is a problem. It's much worse in Delhi. Second is, Delhi's got so many fantastic colleges, right? We are sitting in one of those. Where are the companies to give them job opportunities? Why does a citizen of Delhi studying in a great college in Delhi has to commute all the way to Gurgaon or Noida or, relocate to Bangalore or Mumbai to find jobs? Why can't the capital of the world's 5th largest economy not have an AI city in the capital, not have a tech city in a capital? There are no incentives. There are no IT parks. We are producing talent for other states and other cities. So the fourth thing is, in this election in particular, most contenders are talking about whether freebies for women will be given or will not be given. Why are we not talking about creating jobs for women, giving them good good education? You spoke about new colleges, new schools are being opened. Seems like the narrative is it's just to give contracts to open schools. So you do construction, everybody makes money, but then there are no teachers to teach them. Delhi is very notorious for the way school admissions functions. People are not able to find schools for their children. Schools are asking for hefty donations. So I think it is really sad that, in this age where the national narrative is about Vikasit Bharat, the capital of the country is struggling with clean air, clean water, education, very, very basic stuff, which is really starking.
And to the RJ now. You talk about Delhi, you talk to people of Delhi almost every day, and their concerns are known to you more than most of people here.
So I think Delhi has two problems. First, I'm very happy with Delhi. I love Delhi. I want to specify that. Second, everybody's made points, and you have to understand. So I interviewed a politician about 3 years ago, and there was a statement he said which still resonates. He said, "We will do what people expect from us to get a vote." So abhi bhi, most majority of
Sam,
people...
dam, dand, bhed.
Absolutely.
Kuch
They
bhi
want
chalega.
roti, kapda, makan. इसीलिए जितने भी freebies are there, they are to a certain class of people. You have to understand that. Why are women being given freebies? Because they've realized that women voters are not voting, and that too, again, a certain class. So you are giving them freebies. The educated don't vote, and that is the biggest problem. So therefore,
Not correct. I think
currently also, the educated don't stand and say when your MLA comes to ask for votes, and this is something that I've asked on radio every day. First tell me, who is your area MLA? 70% people don't know it. We're too busy to find out, okay? What are the problems in your area? There's a drainage issue, there's a garbage issue. Will you ever go and tell your MLA, no, we don't have time? So therefore, the MLA knows that the votes that he's getting are from a certain category. If you start asking politicians for the right things, or you tell them that what is there in your manifesto for, say, pollution, we never make a U about pollution in all the 8 months that pollution we cannot see. Of course, it exists, but it's only in 4 months that we talk about pollution, and therefore nobody addresses it. Are you telling me a country that has gone to the moon, is planning to land on the sun, really cannot find a solution to pollution? It's not possible. Whether it's the center, whether it's the state, both have an equal role to play in Delhi because of different bodies, but neither of them consider it important because people don't consider it important. When you talk about education in schools, the biggest example is colleges in Delhi. Colleges are a huge problem. The moment Delhi University announces its cutoffs or CUET, and these kids could tell you, more students are from outside Delhi than from within. So again, you're not just sending talent out of Delhi, you're also sending students of Delhi to study in different agencies. Schools. There's always a conversation about public versus private schools. Public schools, the government schools that the government is building. Have they done noticeably better? Yes. It's on record, it's there for everybody to see. Does it mean that the government has been able to crack down on private schools charging huge rates as, I think for 1.5 lakh for a quarter has become normal in international schools or in private schools? Average. That's what I said, it's become an absolute average. And that is terrible because most people cannot afford that level. So Delhi has a multitude of problems, but we're not talking about them because in Delhi, unfortunately, we're still discussing freebies, roti kapda makan notice. What is being inaugurated the most? Houses, right? For a certain, when are we going to raise our voice? That is my biggest question.
These and chappals are being distributed already.
Constantly. Also for women, one quiet question about women, we give freebies all the time. I work in Okhla Phase 3. The CM currently looks after Okhla Phase 3, Atishi. There is no light. So there is no light. So even if you're using a metro or a bus, you have to go outside. There is no way to communicate, to go there and commute. Second, most metro stations, wherever you take the metro and you get back home, that middle path is just not there, the last mile. There is no light. There is no proper mode of transport. You again have to depend on cabs.
So can I just
30 seconds,
quick?
please.
Sorry.
Yeah, I just want to quickly add on the freebies to women. You know, it is widely acknowledged that women need financial empowerment. And therefore, I think the idea came from there, and that is why it is, in a sense, something that needed to be done. But more importantly, we should look upon the whole concept of financial inclusion. Inclusion. You know, come up with proper schemes, especially for the lower income groups, rather than making it like a freebie sabko. What you said was very correct earlier, that employment schemes for women. For example, in our museum, we employ a lot of women. And it is these kind of sectors which are, you know, where you don't need to be highly educated, but you can still get, you know, as a guide or as, you know, as somebody who's an interpreter or something like that. So you can get jobs, but you have to create those jobs. It cannot be only for highly skilled people like we have behind us, you know, who are very educated, postgrads, etc. Those women will be very few. Therefore, the trickle-down effect, where is the thinking going on?
Or maybe are the politicians of Delhi really aware of the real problems of the people?
No, I don't think so. I totally agree with
Or
her
is there
that
a disconnect?
It's all about getting votes. And so if they can get koi abhi main jo taxi mein aa rahi thi, that's what the guy was telling me. So I won't name the party, but he said, "Madam, aap jo marzi kar lo, wo hi
Jeetenge."
jeetenge, because wo sab kuch free de rahe hain."
Let me say, Maria, that every politician knows the real problems of the people. And let me also say that every politician raises the issue in his constituency in the parliament or in the assembly. The issue is the limited capability of a particular MLA. If the MLA is of a particular side and the MCD is on the other side, no matter what he tells the MCD,
Yes.
nothing
Again,
will
that's what
happen.
I'm saying. Multiplicity of agencies, that is the
Absolutely.
reason why
And
Delhi
that's why,
is almost
exactly.
collapsing in many ways. Okay, let's open the floor and get the students as well. Go ahead, express your views. Tell us about yourself as well.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Aditi Shri. I'm the first year student of SRCC GBO, the management program. So my take on the upcoming elections and all the politicians is that, as sir mentioned and all of the panelists mentioned, I think they are very much aware of the real issues that everyone is facing around us. Our studies were impacted heavily because we had to give our SEM 1 examinations just after that. So pollution for me is a huge parameter to decide on whether I should be giving my vote to a certain party or not.
But are the politicians, in fact, talking about it? Nobody's coming up with
No, I think
solutions
they are just,
or even
you know,
offering it in their manifesto. Nobody has
I
that
don't think so,
mentioned.
because they're just predominantly, on the basis that, as you mentioned, Saam, Dan, Dan, Bait. Whatever it is they have to do to get the vote. Freebies, jitne baato, itne votes aayenge. So I don't want to name anyone, but I think they need to tackle on the real issue and not just, focus on the
Yes,
freebies.
let's move on the mic to other students as well. Please go ahead. Who's speaking next? Go ahead.
Yeah, so thank you so much. My name is Karthike and I am a first year student of SRCC Global Business Operations. So my take on this election is that between the game of center and the state, it's always the middle class who bears the cost of the different. Delhi people are still suffering from be it pollution, be it the contaminated water in the summer season or winter season, and it's always the policy which didn't get to the middle class. Like if I talk about the Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, in around including states and union territories, it's the only 2 states which have not implemented it in today's world. One is Delhi and second one is West Bengal. So it's always the middle class which bears the cost of the between the blame game of center and the state. So my take on this is there should be a better government who should focus not only as a team but also all over the citizens of the people. Yeah.
Yes, and a government which actually can work also with the center, because it's about cooperative federalism at the end of the day. Please go ahead. Pass on the mic.
So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shazib Khan, and I'm currently pursuing my first year from the masters from the GBO program. So, ma'am, I feel that this is a common situation across the country, that policy paralysis is something that has been quite relevant in the modern age.
A little louder, please.
What I'm saying is policy paralysis is quite relevant that has taken place in the modern age. What we are seeing is, as you mentioned, multiplicity of agents. We have the State Pollution Control Board, the Central Pollution Control Board, and the NGT even is in the fight to control and curb the air pollution. But yet, no actual action has been taken on the ground to basically curb the current problems, be it the Yamuna Action Plan or the pollution control across the Delhi NCR region. So what do you think is the way out of this conundrum and this problem?
So there is no solution in sight. But Yashvardhan Azad, would you want to speak on this?
No, I just want to say that apart from the political will, even the action on ground by the bureaucrats or the police is not being done properly. Look at the basement tragedy which took place.
Absolutely.
And it impacted almost everyone's lives because there were so many of these aspirants who were going there. What happened? The case was registered late, and thereafter a committee was set. Now what it meant was that all the basements which are being used illegally by the lawyers or anything should be, sealed. What has happened? The report never came and nothing was sealed. So no, when you have inaction of this kind, then people are aware this thing is not going to happen.
No, but judiciary is to be blamed for that. I mean, after all, who's responsible for all this illegal encroachment? Because the officers, the authorities are responsible for this. Why aren't they prosecuted? Why aren't they jailed? People will stop only then because you let them go over and over again. All these violations, even as far as air pollution. Even recently, there were 11 court commissioners from Supreme Court. They brought like hundreds of these complaints during RAP4 of pollution and polluting industries and huge builders, etc. But nothing was done. So this is where the problem is, with your own, the implementation, that thing of, the contempt cases, there's nothing being done. They need to be jailed. Our children are suffering. They're going to live 12 years lesser.
Yes, that point that you made, Yashvardhan Azad, particularly about that basement tragedy. Kashif, come in on that. Particularly, I mean, we are talking about students who are supposed to be studying, even if they are studying in basement or top floor, doesn't matter. But it's the lack of infrastructure and lack of proper paperwork which is needed when a basement functions.
And also education, because they're forced to go to those places to study because they're not getting anything.
To study.
That was very unfortunate what happened in that particular basement. And I think we need to understand and we need to find out the real reason behind it. Because people have to go out in coaching institutes to get their coaching and paid coaching, in fact, because there is lack of infrastructure, educational infrastructure in their cities, in their locality by the government itself. If once they have a proper system where students can learn in government colleges or school, as I think she mentioned earlier, that students of Delhi not getting chance to get education in Delhi, they are not getting admission. And why? Because we need to understand the reason we are not talking about it, and that's why it has become very serious now. You cannot get you cannot get admission in your city's college itself, and that's the biggest problem. That's why students have to go out and they have to go in those sort of
One may say that
institutions.
Delhi is inclusive. The counter argument to that can be that it's an aspirational city.
Chance to merit.
Yeah, it gives chance to merit. People from students from all across the country can come and get an admission in Delhi University. Soumya, can that be a reason then?
See, of course, India historically has built its talent pool based on merit, and a lot of other states are also doing it, right? Like, if there is an IIT Bombay in Bombay, there are also many other colleges. So, sure, there should be institutions which promote meritocracy and more competition, but the basic education, like people should not struggle for their students to get basic education in schools and colleges. Okay, what rank of college is debatable, but at least there should be enough educational infrastructure to absorb the children that you're producing. You're sitting in the capital of the city. If a Bhopal, where I grew up, can do that, or if some other smaller cities are able to do that, with both central and Delhi government sitting here, how difficult is it?
So, is there too much of spotlight on Delhi, or
No, I think it's what somebody else raised also, that there is a tussle between the center and the state, which we all know about. As voters in Delhi, we have been watching it on television, endless debates that, he did this, she did this. But the real reason that I think the Delhi voters feel that now time has come to change this, because we cannot go on like this. We need development. So I'll give you, Maria, an example very close by, which is about heritage and culture.
Yes.
Chandni Chowk. How many times have we seen that place being renovated, refurbished? Year on year, crores are spent of our hard-earned money. We are the taxpayers. We are paying for that. And every now and then we'll see the whole thing as shambolic. It's back to what it was. It's like totally gone. Where is this heritage? Delhi has got...
Heritage Walk, what happens to that?
Yeah, so it's all gone. I mean, like the whole place. Yeah, Red Fort was there, but Chandni Chowk, the whole renovation, the refurbishment, everything has just gone to seed.
There was that fire tragedy.
Yeah, there was a fire tragedy.
So,
there was so many
infrastructure
things.
is bad.
Yeah.
So many
So,
entrepreneurs lost everything that they had.
So Delhi has the potential. We know it, that, to become the tourism capital of the world, because it should be even higher than Rome and other places. So, the UK has small houses that they put up and many tourists queue up to go there. Delhi has the potential to reach that. But nobody's tapping heritage. Nobody's tapping our existing cultural artifacts which are lying around undiscovered in Delhi. So much of it.
Ginny, quickly on that, and then I'll bring in the students again.
I just think Delhi has a very chalta hai attitude more than anything else. Does it have a potential to grow in very... चलता है नो चलता है एटीट्यूड इज अगर एक ट्रेजेडी हो गई है बेसमेंट ट्रेजेडी उसके बारे में हम सब बात करते हैं 1 महीने तक बात करते हैं और फिर हम भूल जाते हैं वी कुड हैव आल्सो एज सिटीजंस एंड आई मीन I also think that the onus needs to come on citizens. We don't take the onus of saying things. We all have localities around us jahan pe we see there are huge markets in Delhi which have been closed on and off so many times simply because fire safety hazard hai, patli seediyan hai. We've all been there. We've all had coffee there. But it's a chalta hai attitude that works. It's also a lot of infighting that happens. And the fact is that we don't ask enough questions. My problem is we don't ask enough questions.
But Delhi was supposed to be for Dilwalon ki. What happened to that attitude?
वो चला गया वो नहीं चला
चल- चल-
दिल्ली is not दिल वालों की
Those ridiculous signs coming over just 3 days ago in
Signages.
GK1, they've come on a footpath and they're actually installing that with bricks, and the residents came out and threw all the brick out. Footpaths, this, I love the name of the colony is
Yeah.
huge plasticky looking signs.
But which
are coming
reminds me,
up.
there's a bigger
On a
problem in
footpath.
Delhi.
Now, this is
You know,
the
when we talk
sense
about-
of the MCD, this is the sense of
Absolutely.
PWD. The urban mobility is the worst. The whole Delhi is a parking lot right now.
Absolutely agree.
And
this is where-
congestion. I mean, traffic movement. I mean, there's no movement at all.
Absolutely.
There's no
there's no
pavements.
pavement. I want to
Maria,
challenge politicians.
can I raise a point? In a country, we should have the amenities, which has an amenity for only 50 crore people. If you have 135, no amenity will be sufficient. That's number one. Number two, where the discipline is not there, nothing works. And number two, I'll give you a simple example of Khan Market. 20 years back, they planned that it'll be a pedestrianized. It was a great concept, and we all living there, we were so happy. Today, the cars are on top of each other, and the shopkeepers have their wares right in front on the pedestrian paths, and there is nothing happening over there. So if you can't
So
even...
cycling tracks, walking
all that,
tracks.
all that.
Walking tracks was such
Nothing.
a big thing
It's all
4
gone.
years ago
Yes.
when on Nizamuddin Bridge they had built a walking track. You can't see anybody walking. There are only bikes there. And I can challenge politicians, walk from any one part of Delhi to another without the police shutting down the roads for you so that you can take off a rally. There is no place where pedestrians can even cross roads. There is just no, when we talk about tourism is also largely dependent on people being able to commute easily. It's impossible to do that in Delhi. Again, traffic, such a huge thing, which nobody will do. I remember one of the very senior politicians in the central government was once stuck in a traffic jam near the airport. He tweeted to say, stuck in the same place for 45 minutes. The next day, everybody was very happy that ab to kuch badlega. Kuch nahi badna. It's still
He's
50
suffering what we have been going through every day.
And it didn't. I mean, despite the fact that he went through it.
Maybe it's poetic justice, as they say. Okay, let's bring in some more students. Please go ahead.
So I would like to thank NDTV for providing this lucrative opportunity to represent our college. So this is me, Samir Jaiswal from SRCC GBO, and this is the management program of our college. So I wanted to raise question to all the political parties that they are manifesting freebies to the women, but no one is talking about the women empowerment. As we know, that woman is the pioneer of the society. But what we are doing to formulate a conducive environment so that we can protect our women from sexual harassment and eve teasing? Are we providing them the ease of doing business? As ma'am has said that Delhi lacks this. And also, like sir has raised the question of what the government is doing for making the education system robust. As we are seeing that the girls' enrollment ratio in the admission is also declining, is not up to the mark because of the lack of the facilities.
And safety
And also-
security. That's a concern among girls.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. And also the freebies are being paid from the tax, and it is the putting liability on that. So no one is focusing and talking about that.
Yes,
I
so
think
it's
that-
bad economics. That's what you
Yes,
suggest?
yes, sir.
Freebies
Yes, ma'am.
are. Please give the mic to him.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Devesh Sadagar. I'm a student of SRCC GBO program. Ma'am, I would like to bring up the concern of, first and foremost, the health in this city. My very good friend is a civil services aspirant, and due to the bad pollution, she could not study. She was hospitalized. She had some lung infection, but since she was from a well-to-do background, she could afford an expensive air purifier in her room, and she could study now. But what about the people of the middle class and lower sections?
Yes.
They can't afford that. Secondly, I would like to talk about the infrastructure issues. As Sir has lightly mentioned, in Karol Bagh, there was an incident in the basement. Committees were formed, strikes were happened, and some sort of actions were taken. But even till today, such basements are still working in that area. Even in Green Park, there is one Rajya Sabha MP just beside his residence. There is one illegal basement coaching class still going on. I have been to there. It is still going on, ma'am.
So law enforcers are not really
And thirdly, I
alert
would like
enough.
to say about I stay in GTP Nagar, which is close to my college, about 1.5 kilometers. After 11 p.m., any car if you see on the road, the driver has consumed alcohol. It is very common. And I'm an outsider. I've come from Gujarat to pursue my course, and I feel really scared to walk on the streets, walk on the pavement, because I might think that okay, somebody might hit me from the back.
So
It's
is this
really
really
scary.
the impression that Delhiites want to give of their own city? One issue certainly is that every season Delhi is not being enjoyed, or Delhiites are not able to enjoy the weather. During monsoon, the city drowns. During winters, you have pollution to such a level that you can't walk or step out of their homes. In summers, there is electricity crisis as well. So, as a Delhiite, what are your concerns?
And I think this is a very serious problem for Delhiites, because in November we all know already that we are going to face a mini shutdown, or I would say lockdown. Schools will be closed, colleges will be closed, offices will be closed, and even if people have to go out, they have to breathe a very polluted air. So that is more serious, and I think that is very haphazard for the Delhiites, and we are very concerned about it, very serious about it. But both government, I think central and state government, need to be proactive about it. And
Okay, let's offer solution to governments now.
I think
Come up
solution
with a
would be,
solution. What do you think the government should do?
in recent times, I realize the number of cars and I would say vehicles have been increasingly rapidly. So I think that is something which we need to be discussed about, because we need to curb the number of cars we are buying, because one car for one household, or I think some kind of a scheme need to be implemented, and I think that will definitely work against the problem pollution.
Okay, so if Soumya, if other countries can implement this policy of controlling the number of vehicles on roads, then why can't India, or particularly Delhi government?
I think it's the quality of infrastructure. You make public transport easy to use. Nobody wants to be stuck in a car for 2 hours when, the same commute could be completed in a few minutes. So it's just the quality of better public transport, more safety, last mile connectivity. The problems are not very, very difficult to solve. Like multiple countries, small countries, large countries have successfully done it. A few cities in India have done it. It just needs to come in the prioritization of the government when they are able to look beyond how to entice the lowermost section of the society by freebies.
So what is your solution to the politicians who are watching this show?
My solution to the politicians is that the youth and the citizens are educated. Now, it is not about 2,000 rupees in their account or how much of free infrastructure could be provided. Citizens are seeking good and clean air, clean water to drink, good schools for their children to grow up to, and good infrastructure when they step out. It's very basic ask. Just find solutions, start telling us that this is how you will achieve these for us. And I think all the votes would go to the candidate who makes that pitch.
So local candidates are more important than political parties for you, Bhavri?
Yes, definitely. It's the candidate that we have to vote for, because as a citizen, I'll be communicating with my local candidate, whether it's a councillor, it's an MLA. They are the ones that you deal with. And that is why the political party should not be the candidate. There are candidates. We've been, as warrior moms, mothers, going into every meeting and trying to ask and challenge the various parties. So we have people there are candidates. I have in my constituency a candidate who approached us, Abhishek Dutt, and he came and he spoke on clean air and he promised and he made commitments.
So what did he do after that?
No, this is now. For now, he's coming up and he's made commitments. He's made for the whole Kasturba Nagar constituency, he has a plan. While the others, we are still waiting. So I'm hoping that we will hear from, Aam Aadmi Party as well, because they have also kind of approached now. So hopefully we'll hear from them. So every citizen will have to actually go in, demand this. And like Ginny said, that there is something very important. Only वही चीज मुद्दा बनेगा, वही चीज आएगा उनका मैनिफेस्टो पे, which or be a part of an electoral process which citizens will demand. If we don't demand, it will not come there. आपको मंदिर चाहिए था, वो बन गया. आपको जैसे आपने बोला रोटी कपड़ा मकान फ्री चाहिए, आपको बिजली चाहिए, मिल गया, वो मिलेगा. इस करके health, and it's so wonderful that this was a broad debate. It's not one of those debates when I come on environment and clean air, and we have only focused focused on health, which is, of course, clean air and water. And somebody here was telling me that they have to buy water in Jamia Nagar as students, for
Because
certain
it's
rupees.
contaminated water.
It's contaminated. Typhoid has increased tremendously. So this is a future huge problem for Delhi. But again, nobody's talking. They have to. Every voice will have to come and ask for it. So health and education, as has come up, is very, very heartening that in a debate which is wide, this is where we come. And of course, when we speak about health, it connects to everything, whether you're cutting 5 trees an hour in a city which is polluted, or it's urban mobility, public transport, which needs, and the solution is mindful policy, like he's talking about. In a most polluted country of the world, we don't even have city of the world, we don't even have an emission tax. We don't have a congestion tax as of today. We don't have low emission zones outside schools and hospitals. I mean, these are things should have been done 20 years ago. So that is the kind of mindful policy in everything, whether it's waste, this thing. I don't want to take too much time, so I'm not coming to that. And then strict enforcement and implementation, which is again a very, very sorry
Yashwardhan
factor
Azad,
here.
in terms of implementation, it may be all plans, but
Maria, a lot of things can be done by the government. The first thing is, I would ask the government, beg, borrow, steal, cooperate, but improve this pollution business, because you have the same government in Punjab and you have the same government in Delhi. Definitely you can cooperate on Parali. You can get into mechanical, sweepers, which we've been talking about for a long, long time. There are so many things about removal of industries. There are so many things about emissions which are coming from the air. The question is of political will, but unless the central government cooperates. When Sheila Dikshit was there, she did a wonderful kind of a cooperation with the central government, and a lot of things were achieved. Number 2, the Mohalla clinics have been a boon for the people. There have been a lot of improvements in Delhi, which you must appreciate. But there is a 28% fall in the drop of people going there. Improve that. Number 3, Sisodia has done an excellent work on the education part. That should be kept, going. Number 4, you can do a lot on the landfill sites, which are extremely important. You can do a lot on cleaning of Jamuna. Like this, I can list out many other things which can be done, and this is how we should vote for those candidates who are in for it. And there are a lot of people you can make out amongst these MLA candidates who are going to take up these issues, because as I said earlier, most of them are familiar with what are the issues, but it's how they project them and how they convert them into implementation through the government. That is the most important.
okay,
thing.
before I move into this side, I want to understand from you as a young mother, Soumya, do you want your children to grow up in Delhi? Or are you scared because of their multiple issues? You're pretty anguished about how things are going wrong with the city.
The short answer is yes, because the short answer is I want to raise my daughter in Delhi because it's Dil Walo Ki Dilli and it's home and it's everything. Just that I would want to, the way we renovate our house when it starts to fall apart, when it gets very old, we want a better Delhi for our children to grow up and stay and then contribute back to the city which has given them everything. So lots of wishes from candidates who take over in the next government and hoping for the best.
Yeah, okay. So I just want to pick up from what the question that you asked her, that whether she would like to bring up her children here. Certainly, as a Delhi ki ladki, I did it. But now I see that there is a sea change. The people who have young children now and who can afford it, Maria, are all moving out because they're all moving away to greener places and they just feel that they need better air, better everything for their kids but they can afford to do it. Whereas this is the problem here, that the people who are getting the freebies don't realize that they're also being bribed to stay on in a very, very polluted and a very difficult city now. So their children are going to really suffer. And I just want to add one more thing. It's not just the kids, it's the elderly. My mother, who is 91, I have not been able to take her out of the house for almost 2 to 3 months. Because every time we take her out, there is GRAP4, there is some AQI, everybody scares me, the doctors tell me keep her inside. I mean, this is cruel. This is really, really cruel. So I would like that whoever is making the next policy on the environment, because I think they will have to do it for us to vote for them. Otherwise, we will go and protest at their doorstep every day. I think we should make a resolution to do that. And
think
Guinea,
last time Delhi
you should
protested
talk
was
about
in
it.
2012.
Yeah.
After that,
after that, no.
and
Now
after
we need
that,
to take this
there
up.
has been no large-scale mass protest.
No, I think we need to take this up. Yeah, 2019. But we could not. Yeah.
Clean air. Yeah.
But
I
we need to
remember.
do it on a more
Right.
systematic basis.
Right.
We cannot do that one protest and give up because nothing has happened.
Yes.
So, yeah. Yeah, so we need to do it more systematically, and I think Guinea will have to do something about it as well. So, Guinea, over to you.
Yes, Guinea, so you have the responsibility of wrapping up this discussion.
Thank you. I think manifestos are set, political parties are there. There's just one thing I want to say to every single voter. First, know your MLA. Know the person you're voting for, not the political party that you're voting for, because that is more important. Like she kept on saying, it is that one single person who will be able to change or reply or take in suggestions from what is it that you're going through. Second, I just think from all the governments, it's all right. If there is Grab 4, none of us take out our cars for the 20,000 rupee fine. And you're very consistent with fining, right? You're very consistent with standing there and cutting challans. Please be as consistent in making changes from your side, not just what you impose on people. This is for all the governments out there. And please think and vote. Don't put votes just for the heck of it.
Okay, so think and vote. That is going to be the big takeaway. Thank you, panelists, for making the effort to come all the way here for our discussion. That's all from me. Thanks so much for watching.